We've heard tales about it in hushed tones around campfires, seen its shadow dancing in our nightmares, and experienced its presence through the subtle tremor of the water. But have we ever truly uncovered the enigma? The one thing that separates us from being mere mortals like the ancient Greeks is knowledge. Knowledge of the world around us and the things that dwell within it. And yet there are many things that even our extensive knowledge cannot explain. And when it comes to some of the most terrifying creatures known to man, the truth is often stranger than fiction. So let's find out more about the monster of the deep in today's episode only here. The Monster of the Deep, uncovering the giant sea lizard. Let's begin at the beginning. The first time we encountered this legendary beast was in 1849, when a British geologist named Gideon Mantell discovered a collection of fossilized bones in southern England. These remains were unlike any other creature he had ever seen before. They were huge, had a long neck and flippers instead of hands. He realized he had stumbled upon something extraordinary, a living dinosaur from a bygone era. Mantell named his discovery Plesiosaurus, which translates to near lizard. At the time, he didn't realize that he was actually dealing with a marine reptile, not a terrestrial dinosaur. It wasn't until later that scientists would uncover the truth about the plesiosaur. In fact, it took over a century after their initial discovery for paleontologists to learn how to distinguish between the different types of plesiosaurs. They realized that there were four main groups: the short-necked, long-bodied, and small-headed plesiosaurs. Each group had its own unique characteristics, but all of them were clearly related. But why does this matter? You might ask, if they're all related, can't we just refer to them all as plesiosaurs without getting bogged down in the details? Well, yes, we could, but doing so would be like referring to all birds as pigeons. Sure, they might share some common characteristics, but each species has its own unique adaptations and behaviors that make it special. So if we want to understand the plesiosaur, we need to learn about the different types and what sets them apart. That way, we can get a better understanding of these fascinating creatures and appreciate the diversity of life that existed in the past. So buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the world of the plesiosaur and uncover the secrets of these amazing creatures. But before we do, let's set the stage for our monster of the deep. Imagine you're an ancient Greek sailor navigating the vast and treacherous waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The year is 325 BC, and you're returning home from a long and arduous journey. Suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you see a massive shape rising from the depths, with a long neck that towers above the waves and a pair of humongous eyes that seem to stare directly into your soul. This creature is unlike anything you've ever seen before. You struggle to make sense of what you're witnessing as it dives back into the sea, leaving you shaken to your core. But this encounter is only the beginning. In the weeks and months that follow, sightings of this mysterious beast become more frequent, each one more terrifying than the last. People along the coast are too afraid to go into the water, and the local fishermen have abandoned their boats. Fear and uncertainty grip the population as they try to come to terms with this new and terrifying reality. The stakes are high and the danger is real. Now let's shift gears and introduce a new character to our story, someone who will change everything. Enter Andreas Santorini, an ambitious young scientist who is eager to make a name for himself. When he hears about the mysterious sea monster, he sees an opportunity to make his mark on the world. Ignoring the warnings of the locals, Santorini sets out to sea in search of the creature. Armed with a net and a determination to succeed, he casts his net wide, hoping to capture the monster and prove its existence to the world. But what he doesn't realize is that this creature is not just a myth or a legend. It's a real and dangerous animal that will stop at nothing to protect itself. As Santorini's net closes in on his prey, the tension builds and the outcome remains uncertain. Will he be able to capture the sea monster and earn his place in history, or will he become another victim of the beast? And as the story unfolds, we'll learn just how much Santorini's actions will impact the lives of those around him. For example, one of the key characters in the story is a wise old fisherman named Titus. Titus has spent a lifetime at sea, and he knows these waters like the back of his hand. But even he has never seen anything like this before. When Santorini first approaches him for help, Titus tries to warn him of the dangers that lie ahead. He tells him about the strange and terrifying creature that has been sighted and begs him to reconsider his mission. But Santorini is not one to listen to old wives' tales, and he sets off on his adventure with or without him. As the story progresses, however, Titus's wisdom and experience prove invaluable. He helps guide Santorini through the treacherous waters and warns him of the pitfalls that lie ahead. And as they face the monster together, Titus's knowledge of the sea and its creatures proves to be the difference between life and death. Plesiosaurs are thought to have lived during the Mesozoic era, which lasted from about 252 to 66 million years ago. They were a diverse group of reptiles that inhabited the world's oceans and came in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some plesiosaurs were quite small, measuring only a few meters in length, while others were truly gigantic. One of the largest known plesiosaurs is the Elasmosaurus, which could grow up to 11 meters long and weigh several tons. These creatures had long necks that could reach up to 5 meters in length and were perfectly adapted for catching fish. Their front flippers were massive and paddle-shaped, while their hind flippers were smaller and more maneuverable. This allowed them to swim with ease and grace through the water, propelling themselves forward with powerful strokes of their flippers. But not all plesiosaurs were built for speed. Take, for example, the Styracosaurus, a short-necked plesiosaur that had a huge head and sharp teeth. This creature was a fearsome predator that was perfectly adapted for hunting other marine animals. Its massive head was equipped with a powerful bite that could easily crush the bones of its prey, while its short neck allowed it to maneuver easily in tight spaces. Despite their differences, all plesiosaurs shared some common characteristics. They were all marine reptiles, with a streamlined body and 4 flippers that were adapted for swimming. They also had large eyes that may have helped them hunt prey in the dimly lit depths of the ocean. And speaking of hunting, plesiosaurs were apex predators, meaning they were at the top of the food chain in their ecosystem. This meant that they had few natural enemies and could pretty much eat whatever they wanted. Some plesiosaurs specialized in eating fish, while others preferred to dine on other marine animals such as jellyfish and squid. There was even evidence that some plesiosaurs were cannibalistic, preying on other plesiosaurs when the opportunity arose. It's important to note that our knowledge of plesiosaurs is still limited, as they are relatively understudied compared to other prehistoric creatures like dinosaurs. Much of what we know about them has come from fossils found in Europe and North America. However, recent discoveries in other parts of the world are helping to fill in the gaps in our knowledge. For example, in 2016, a fossil of a new species of plesiosaur was found in Argentina. This creature, named Plesiosaurus, had a long neck and a large body, similar to other plesiosaur species. However, it was also unique in some ways. It had a long and narrow skull with a narrow jaw, which suggests that it fed on smaller prey such as fish and squid. The discovery of this new species highlights the diversity of plesiosaur life and shows that these creatures were well adapted to survive in a variety of environments. In conclusion, plesiosaurs were truly fascinating creatures that dominated the world's oceans for millions of years. They came in a variety of shapes and sizes and were perfectly adapted to their marine environment. While much of their behavior and life history remains a mystery, the fossils that have been discovered provide a glimpse into a world that existed long before humans ever set foot on the planet. So the next time you hear someone say that dinosaurs ruled the seas, you can be sure to correct them. It was the plesiosaurs that truly held that title. As you can see, the stories of these creatures are truly captivating and can keep us on the edge of our seats for hours on end. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. What are your thoughts on the monster of the deep? Have you ever seen anything like it before? Share your experiences and theories with us in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content like this. Catch you next time.